Welcome to our second episode in the Mixed Bag podcast, where we are discussing a vital topic that affects us all, mental health. Join me as I talk to a mental healthy personnel, Stain Banda, about their understanding of mental health, personal experiences, and insights on how we can work together to combat mental health issues. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
First of all, would you please mention your name?
My name is Stain Banda, Stanley Banda, but I love to call myself Stain.
Okay, that's
Sure.
quite impressive.
Sure.
So, as usual, you're with me, your host, Alexa Mawanda. Without wasting much of your time, let's dive right into our first segment, which is understanding mental health. So, my first question is,
Yes.
what does mental health mean to you? And how do you think society perceives it?
All right. I think mental health actually has to do with emotional, psychological, as well as social well-being, and it actually affects how we think, how we feel, and as well as how we act.
Yes.
In simple terms, I think that's how I can describe mental health.
Do you think it's very important for us to be talking about mental health issues?
Yes, very, very important because I think a lot of things, a lot of areas and aspects of life
Yeah.
starts with how one thinks. There's a saying that says, as one thinks, that's what they are.
Yeah.
So basically, if if one thinks negatively, that's going to affect a lot of aspects of their lives negatively as well. Because as the area said that mental health actually has to do with our emotions, our psychological
yeah.
and social well-being. It as well affects how we think, feel, and act. And when somebody's mental health is well, it helps to determine how they handle stress
Yeah.
and how they actually handle themselves as well in the presence of people.
Yeah. So you, as a mental healthy personnel working in a working with an organization that deals with mental health issues, how do you stay mentally well? And what self-care practices do you prioritize, you as a person?
Firstly, I think the most important thing is understanding what um, mental health is. So once you have the understanding, I think it's quite easy. I don't think if it's right to use the word easy, but then it's not as hard as it is for someone who doesn't have the knowledge of mental health, because you know how important it is and you know how to stay mentally healthy. So one of the things that I personally has been doing over time to stay mentally healthy is first of all understanding myself and understanding life as well.
Yeah, true that.
Because most of the times we get mentally disturbed because of a number of factors. Some of them being the problems that we face on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But now, because I've understood how life goes, I've taught myself that even when I'm going through something that is challenging, I should not take it as something that is there to destroy me, but rather look at it as a challenge that I have to overcome and get to a certain point. As well as there are some other things that disturb our mental health, more like things like drugs and substances abuse.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay away from those things because I know there are some of the things that actually disturb our mental health. So being someone in the mental health sector, that's how I actually handle myself personally, trying to avoid things that I know can actually disturb my mental health,
Yeah.
and as well as being able to accept some situations.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most of the times we face problems, or our mental health gets disturbed because when we face problems, we don't really take them in a right way, or we don't perceive them in the right way that we have to perceive them. Rather, we put all our mind and thoughts on them, which at the end of the day, they tend to cause problems. Sure.
Okay, if I heard you correctly, you said you distance yourself from things that can actually get you into having mental health issues. Have you ever struggled with mental health issues? Or do you know someone else who have ever had mental health issues? But I would be happy if you answer your own experience, not someone's experience.
All right. Yeah, I think there was a time that I went through a very challenging time.
What happened? What happened?
That was back in, it has to be 2009. Yeah. Um, my parents separated, and back then I was about to write my MSc. So
Wow.
it was
Very hard.
it was very hard. We were used to living a certain type of life. Eventually, after the separation, we had to move to a smaller house, and the environment wasn't so pleasing. That really affected me. It really hit hard.
Yeah, I
And
can imagine.
at the end of the day, a lot of things were affected. My academics, and even how I related with friends, how I saw myself. A lot changed, because there was a lot of change in the life, and things that we were used to having, we never had them starting from the moment the parents separated.
Yeah.
So it was actually a challenging moment, and that really affected me mentally.
Okay, is that the reason why you decided to pursue or to work as a mental health personnel?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons that I decided to work in this sector of mental health wellness.
Okay.
So yeah, because I noticed growing up, I noticed that there were other people who have been through the same experience that I've gone through. So I noticed how they've been behaving, how maybe they haven't been able to bring out the best out of themselves in many aspects, be it academics, and even how they relate with people. And some people even have had issues in their relationships.
Yeah.
And I've even came across people who have made a choice of not getting married because their parents at some point separated or divorced.
Yeah, I understand that.
So yeah, and I felt like it was very important for me to be in this sector so that I can actually reach out to some of those people, and as well as others who have not gone through such an experience, but then a totally different experience that affected their mental health.
Okay, did you seek any help, or what support did you get after passing through that experience?
All right. Fortunately, I had several people around me, including my relatives. They have been there for me. They actually assisted in a number of things and in a number of ways. Time to time, they mentored me. Time to time, they advised me. Time to time, they started to support me financially. And apart from the relatives, I had people from church as well. More especially my pastor. and his wife. They were there for me. And at school, I also had this other teacher who was always there for me. I think he noticed how
hard it was
and how it affected me, because I was never the same student that I was before my parents separated.
Yeah.
So these people are the ones who helped me a lot.
Okay.
With advice and mentorship.
Right. That's how we're doing it here on Mixed Bag Podcast. Let's take a short break as we come in few seconds with another segment combating mental health issues. Stay tuned. Welcome back on today's topic about mental health issues. So, moving on with our podcast, my other question is about how we can combat mental health issues. So, my question is, what role can individuals, families, and communities play in promoting mental wellness? You, as a medical personnel, what role can individuals, what roles can you tell the people outside there who are facing the mental health issues? What role can those individuals, families, and communities play in promoting mental health wellness?
All right. I feel like everybody has a role to play.
Yeah.
And I think it has to be taken as a mandate to each and every individual to make sure that we are promoting mental wellness. As I earlier said, some of the things that I did or the things that I practiced to stay mentally well. One, understanding what I am and actually accepting the situation that I'm in, because I feel like acceptance is actually a niche most of the times, and a lot of people who have not accepted the situation tend to have problems, and as well as another thing is love.
Yeah.
I feel like our communities need to have love. We need to love each other.
Love is
we need to look out for each other.
Exactly.
And as well as, on the other hand, people need to be open. Because I feel like most of the times people get eaten up inside because they're not
speaking out,
opening up.
Yes.
They're not speaking out whatever is bothering them. But I feel like it's quite important that we speak out whenever we're having issues that are affecting us emotionally and psychologically. On the other hand, I feel like let me go back to an individual.
Yeah.
As a human being, you need to understand that there are situations in life, and that life will not always be as good as you expected.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
There's a saying that says not all days are Sundays, and that's very true. Not every day can be a good day, not every day can be a bad day. There are other days that are good, there are some days that are
not
challenging.
good, yeah.
I don't have to say bad days, but then challenging. Yeah, because I think there's nothing like bad about life. There's just parts and times that are challenging. So it's best that we understand that not all days will be good, and not all days will be challenging.
Yeah.
And as an individual, whenever you're seeing something bothering you, it's quite important to seek out guidance from other people. But I feel like most of the times, the people that are victims of mental health, or I should say mental unwellness, are usually men. Because
We even
I
saw
think
the statistics saying
of
that a lot of men,
are the ones committing suicide.
yeah, we have 240 something men
Just
that have actually committed suicide because of mental health issues.
you see.
Mm.
So most of the times it starts with the ego.
We
I
have,
think
yeah,
it's
men.
natural. Men have an inborn
Yeah,
ego.
too much
So
ego.
instead of us speaking out to our fellow men, we feel like we are going to appear weak. We are going to appear less of our
Yeah,
value and
exactly.
our capability.
Yeah.
But it's quite important that we put aside that ego and speak out and ask for guidance.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's this saying that says a problem shared is half solved.
Exactly.
You know, you might share it with somebody who might have a solution to it, or else if they might not have the solution, but at least they can assist you with a way of how you can handle it.
But the problem is people nowadays are afraid that if they share their problem, they might hear the same story from other people.
Yeah, I think that's the
So
problem.
that means if I tell you my story today, you're going to discuss my story with other people.
No.
That's the reason why more people are not coming out to express how they're feeling, because they're afraid that you are going to discuss the issues with other people.
I was about to go to that point. On my second point of the families and communities.
Yeah.
Because I think that's another role for the families and communities to play. As I was saying, as an individual, first you have to put aside your ego and be able to talk to people so
Around
that they
you,
can
yes.
actually assist you.
Yeah.
Now, that's for an individual. Let's come to the family. The family has a role to play as well. As I said in the first place, we have to look out for our friends, our relatives, and even our colleagues.
Yeah.
So, but one thing that we need to do as families and friends, as well as the community, is for us to keep our mouth shut most of the times,
yeah.
and try to be confidential. Because I know there's some other things that bother people that are quite confidential, and the reason they don't like talking them out is they feel like if they let it out, they're going to see it on me, because the other day
it will become a laughing stock.
it's going to be that exactly.
Yeah.
So it is a mandate to the families and communities to make sure that they actually keep confidential things confidential.
Exactly.
If someone has opened up to you telling you their problems, it means they have trusted you and they don't want to harbor it themselves. So don't abuse their trust. Keep it. I myself, as a mental health personnel, a mental health activist, one thing that I'm good at is being secretive.
Can we trust you?
Exactly, you can. Because there's a lot of stories that I've heard from people that I cannot even talk to my closest friend. I can't even say it to my relatives or my partner.
Yeah.
It's confidential. It is between me and them.
Yeah.
So I think we all have that role to play to stay confidential, to stay secretive, not to just speak out everything that somebody has actually shared with us. And on the other hand, I think, as our area said, love has to lead.
Exactly.
Yeah, love has to lead. Let's as well go back to individuals.
Yeah.
We need to accept who we are, where we are,
and what we want
and
in
what
life.
we have.
Exactly.
All right, because I feel like some of these issues that have been out there that are affecting men and leading to suicides. are issues to do with finances most of the times.
Yeah.
And the problem is, we do not accept where we are. We hardly accept what we are.
That's the problem.
And we are not content with what we have. So we end up maybe getting loans. We end up falling in debts, deep debts
That we fail to
that we even
repay
fail to
eventually.
repay eventually. And that leads to frustrations. Now, frustration is one of mental illnesses. If someone is frustrated, it really affects them in the way they perform, the way they relate with other people, and the way they even look at other things. So it's very important that we accept who we are, what we have, and as well as where we are at that time, and just work on improving ourselves, developing ourselves. Sure.
Okay, so you said earlier that you're working with a certain organization as we grow, organization that is.
Yes.
So, as an organization, how are you supporting the mental health initiatives? What initiatives have you put in place in order to combat the mental health issues?
All right. What we are currently doing is reaching out to people, civic educating them, randomly. Not like we have a specific place, but currently we've been moving around in the country.
Yeah.
Civic educating people as well as students who will soon appear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it.
Okay.
And as well as we are open for people to talk to us, reach out to us, and speak out their problems, their issues, whatever is affecting them mentally, whatever is bothering them in any other way, and we're giving out mentorship and advice.
All right. That's how we doing it here on Mixed Bag Podcast in episode 2. Let's have a short break as we are going to dive into our final segment, Call to Action. Welcome back. This is our final segment. So, our final segment is called Call to Action. So, the first question that I would like you to answer me is about what message rather would you like to convey to those struggling with mental health issues?
All right. There are simple ways that I would tell somebody who is struggling with mental issues. First of all, you need to know that we are here for you. I believe there will always be somebody who is there for you. It's just a matter of you being open enough to talk to them. But yeah, so there's always somebody for you. In our case, I would say, I'm here for you. On the other hand, I would as well say, you're not alone. Either in that situation, there's somebody else facing the same situation, so don't worry. Don't worry as well, because as I already said, I got you. We got you. We are with you. And you need to know that you're worthy and you're deserving of every good thing. And it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I would as well say you don't have to apologize. I know there are times that you feel bad and you feel like, I'm sorry because I feel this way, but you don't have to apologize. what you're feeling is the right thing that you have to feel at that time. But don't let it eat you up.
Yeah.
Don't keep it inside. Speak it out.
Yeah.
One other thing that you have to know, there's always a treatment for that. So reach out to someone. Tell them whatever is bothering you, and you'll be assisted.
Yeah. There is this tendency of stigmatization, like those people who have mental health issues are being sidelined.
Before you proceed, I forgot another one thing that is quite important for people to know, so that they cannot be stressed that much. It is okay to take things one day at a time, a step after another. Progress is always gradual.
Yeah.
All right, we need to understand that you don't just get somewhere in a blink of an eye. There's always a process that you have to go through.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whether slowly, but progress will be there. So remember, it's not a wrong thing to take things one day at a time.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I was saying about this habit of stigmatization, like those people who are facing mental health issues are being sidelined. They're not getting enough treatment. Like, like they're not one of us.
Yeah, I understand.
They can't be one of a normal person. I shouldn't say a normal person as if those facing mental issues are not normal. But there's this tendency of stigma. How can we reduce stigma around mental illness and encourage open conversations?
So as I earlier said when I was defining mental health, I mentioned that one of the aspects whereby mental health affects us is how we associate with others. It really affects how we perceive ourselves around people, how we relate with people. Because I feel like most of the times, mentally disturbed people are have either the lowest self-esteem, or else others are aggressive for no apparent reason. They easily get aggressive, and others are just bitter.
Yeah.
So people tend to not associate with them pretty well.
Yeah.
Whereby it starts to look as if they are being stigmatized. Yes, it is stigmatizing them, partly because of how it's not easy for them to relate. But I feel like it's quite important for others to accept them and to understand that everybody at some point can go through hard situations. Everybody at some point can actually experience such type of situations. So it's just important for us to accept people the way they are and treat them in a right way. Show them love. Because I feel like even if somebody is going through hard things, but if you show them love, by and by, they start to get relieved from whatever has been bothering them. They get relieved from the illness. So far, that's it.
All right. We're now close to finishing our conversation. Are there any final words that you would like to share with our audience, more especially those that are having mental health issues? What are your final words?
I will have to go through the same that I said previously. I'll just repeat them because I feel like that's the most important things that everybody that is going through tough times has to know. Remember, you're not alone.
Yeah.
you're worthy and deserving. Don't feel any way less. You don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
And there is an answer to every situation. Whether it seems to be hard or it takes time to be corrected, but there's always an answer to every situation.
All right.
And you have to know that you're very important to everyone else. Regardless, you're worthy of living. You're worthy of being around the people that you're around. You're worthy of being part of the community, part of the society. You have great value.
Yeah. My last question.
Right?
Yeah. How can our listeners out there continue the mental health conversation beyond this podcast? Are there any other platforms that are there for people that are affected with mental health issues? Obviously, we have you
Yes.
with your organization.
Yes.
But are there any other platforms that can people have mental health conversations apart from this podcast and apart from your organization?
Yes, they are. There are a number of social media platforms that are actually offering some mentorship, advice, and currently we are planning on a TV program. So we will soon be airing some information that will be quite essential and that we believe is going to assist a lot of people who are having issues with mental health. Okay. And I'm sure there are also people who are currently offering therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those people as well can be reached out.
Okay.
Sure.
That's all we had in our today's episode here on Mixed Bag Podcast. In today's podcast, I was with one of the mental healthy personnel from As We Grow organization, Mr. Stain Banda. So we have talked about how we can combat mental health issues, and the most important thing that we talked about is to be open. We have to be open to our friends. We don't have to be quiet. We don't have to be like to feel less important of ourselves. We need to talk. If we talk, we can feel relieved.
Exactly.
As usual, I've been your host, Alexa Mawanda. I hope you're going to tune in when we come with another episode here on Mixed Bag Podcast. Remember, your mental health and well-being matter. Bye for now.